Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for being here. Monday, July 7th. Earlier today, we talked about Brenton Strange and him potentially being a fantasy breakout. PFF tabbed him as a potential breakout at the tight end position. For my opinion on that, you can go check that video out. But right now, we're talking about Travis Etienne, Jaguars running back, entering the final year of his rookie season, or entering the final year of his rookie contract, I should say. And so we're going to look at that, what's at stake for him this year, and also kind of take a peek at ESPN's top 10 running backs. Where was Travis Etienne last year? Is he still on the list this year? Talk about, can he kind of get back to where he was prior to the 2024 campaign, which was certainly his worst as a pro. So really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. If you have not already, helps the channel out a ton. Travis Etienne in 2024, heading into the 2024 season, ESPN puts a top 10 ranking together of each position group, and they poll executives, coaches, and scouts to put together this list. It's not a list done by just ESPN media members, ESPN personalities. It's actually put together using executives, coaches, and scouts. So it's a pretty interesting list. And last year, Travis Etienne came in at number 10. Heading into the 2024 campaign, the highest that he was ranked by an executive, coach, or scout, which are all anonymous, was 4. Obviously, that's very, very high. His lowest ranking was outside of the top 10. In 2023, he was an honorable mention for the top 10. And they wrote, after missing his entire rookie year because of injury, Etienne became a top 10 back with back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons, 16 total touchdowns, and nearly 100 receptions. One stat from last season perfectly describes Etienne's explosion. He had a max of 19.62 miles per hour when crossing the line of scrimmage. So that's like you get the ball and you get to the line of scrimmage and you are already absolutely flying. And that's something I talk about with Etienne a lot. His explosiveness, his instant acceleration is really impressive. And then we have a quote from one of these anonymous execs, coaches, or scouts. Says, one of the few 3-down backs, really good zone runner, makes people miss in space. And this is actually from an NFL coordinator. Decent catching the ball and in pass protection. No major flaws, just not great in short yardage situations. And I think that really did encapsulate what Travis Etienne was doing prior to the 2024 season really well. It's true that he's not great in short yardage situations. He's not a power back. He also doesn't display the best vision, which can negatively impact your ability to get the short yardage situations. He's best in space, bottom line. He is a good zone runner. And the interesting thing about this evaluation is says that he's decent in pass protection, which pass protection bottomed out for the Jaguars running backs last year in a big way. And it wasn't just Travis Etienne. It was everybody. Travis Etienne's worst season by far in the NFL, as I mentioned, and also his worst season in pass protection. If you look at his pass pro stats from Pro Football Focus, in 2023, he had a 52.2 pass block grade. His efficiency was 94.2. He had 120 pass pro reps, right? And he allowed 11 pressures on those, which is not great by any stretch of the imagination. Again, 52.2, not great, but it's more than passable. It's decent, right? If you have a back that's as explosive and dangerous as he is, and he can still provide that level of pass protection, you're in a pretty good spot overall. Again, not great. But in 2024, like I said, it bottomed out in a big way. In just 58 pass pro reps, he allowed 13 pressures. His efficiency was only 86.4, and his grade was 19.3 in pass pro last year. And like I said, It wasn't just Travis Etienne last year who really struggled in pass protection. Tank Bigsby was also very, very poor. He was 25.3, his PFF grade. His efficiency was only 90.9. So, again, he wasn't even asked to pass protect nearly as much as Etienne because he was not involved in the passing game. He wasn't in the game in clear passing situations where the back is either asked to catch the ball out of the backfield or sit in pass protection. And, you look at Dearness Johnson as well. He did not do very well in pass protection last year. He was at 24.1 PFF grade in pass pro. All of these guys had their worst career years in pass protection for the Jags last year. I think that clearly something was amiss with the coaching on the offensive side of the ball, and that has completely been revamped. Obviously, coaching in the entire building has been revamped outside of special teams. So I do think you have the potential here to see Travis Etienne take a little bit of a step forward, get back to where he was and maybe even better in the pass protection department. And the reason that's so important is because he is a really good receiving back and he's a really good zone runner. He still is. Obviously, last year was his worst season as a pro, as we mentioned. But to me, it's difficult to sit here and say that was all his fault. He did battle through some injuries last year. The coaching staff also lost confidence in him. And you also had a situation where the offensive line was abysmal in the run blocking department. And I think that it was just a bit of a lost season for Travis Etienne, who is still an extremely young player. Travis Etienne obviously missed his rookie year due to injury, the Liz Frank injury. Really unfortunate situation. Obviously, and I think he said as much, was not a bad year to miss as a player because it was just hellish being coached by Urban Meyer and the entire debacle there. But 2022, 2023, his first and second year of actually being able to be on the field, incredibly productive. He's 26 years old now, and again, he's in a contract year, so entering free agency, he's going to be entering his age 27 season. And obviously with running backs, you start to worry about the wear and tear a little bit. But if he goes out there and has the type of year that he's capable of, I do think Travis Etienne could absolutely get paid. And making it a little bit of a muddier picture for him is the fact that you have Tank Bigsby, who's a talented back. The Jags drafted Bashal Tutin, and the Jags drafted LeQuint Allen. So there's a lot of competition here. I do think Travis Etienne is in the pole position for the most touches, for the most snaps. I wouldn't be shocked if he and Bigsby's carries are in a similar range, but I think Etienne is going to be on the field in pass downs a lot more than Tank Bigsby. It'll be interesting to see if Bashal Tutin or LeQuint Allen can eat into that work. I think LeQuint Allen has the ability to be much more consistent in pass protection and as a receiver than anyone else on the team at the running back position. But I think Travis Etienne's explosiveness, that instant acceleration, the ability to bend and get low to the ground and really pick up a lot of chunk plays might just keep him on the field over a young back like LeQuint Allen. And again, if he is able to play, I mean, you just go back to 2023. He had over 1,000 yards rushing. He had 11 touchdowns. He had a big-time year in terms of receiving. In 2022, he averaged over 5 yards per carry. I mean, that was impressive too. He's got the physical ability. He's got the talent, and we've seen him do it to be able to go earn himself a nice starting gig somewhere else and potentially be a very highly paid running back following the 2025 season. I don't think the Jaguars are going to be a team that's going to be investing big money in the running back position, especially after drafting Bashal Tutin and LeQuint Allen and still having Tank Bigsby in the building. I don't think that the Jaguars are going to end up paying Travis Etienne a whole lot. I think it would have to be elsewhere. If he goes out there and has the type of season he had in 2023, but gets those yards per attempt up a little bit more, which I think he will be able to with a better run blocking offensive line and a better coached group in general. There's a chance he could be paid pretty handsomely. There's also a chance if things don't really improve from what they were in 2024 that he's just fighting for carries somewhere next year. So this is a huge year for Travis Etienne personally. I also think what his output in 2025 is massively impacts the Jaguars. If he's able to play more like he did in 2022 and 2023, and also keep the fumbles down, because his first year in the league as a second-year player, his first year rushing and carrying the ball for the Jaguars in 2022, he did have 5 fumbles. Since then, he's been incredibly clean with the ball outside of that Miami game, which everybody likes to bring up, but that was his only fumble over the last 2 years. So he has been clean with the football. If he can remain clean with the football and continue to be the explosive player in zone rushing opportunities, especially wide zone, getting the ball on screens, jet sweeps, and toss crack type plays, he can be a huge factor in Liam Cohen's offense. Absolutely huge. Think Bucky Irving, but with a jetpack on. Like he could have that type of impact. He really could. I think Bucky Irving is a little bit more natural at reading the holes in front of him and having a little bit better vision. But again, Etienne has all the ability in the world to have a huge season, and if he does, the way defenses will have to prepare for the Jaguars, they'll have to respect the run. They'll have to respect Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter, and that could make for one of the more dangerous offenses in the NFL. Now, the good news for the Jaguars, too, is if Etienne doesn't seem to be playing more like that guy we saw prior to 2024, prior to the fumble against Miami, there is a lot of competition. I think you can piece it together with a Tank Bigsby, with another incredibly explosive back in Bashal Tutin, with somebody who can give you really good third down back production in Lee Quint Allen. So it's not like the Jaguars have to be all in on Travis Etienne having a big year for things to go well at the running back position. But I do think he represents their best opportunity to have a back that can have a big impact in the zone rushing attack and as a receiver out of the backfield, and give them enough of a baseline in pass protection if he gets back to what he was doing in 2023 in that regard. I just think he has the most complete potential game for them in 2025, and I do think that they're planning on moving on from him in all likelihood after the 2025 season, but that remains to be seen how that will end up playing out. That's just kind of my outlook. I do think he has the ability to get himself back into the top 10 running backs of this ESPN list that has, exec scouts and coaches all voting. And what they had to say here about him in 2025 is Etienne failed to deliver a third consecutive 1,000-yard season for the struggling Jags in 2024, rushing for 558 yards and 2 touchdowns on a career-low 3.7 yards per carry. How first-year coach Liam Cohen integrates Etienne into the offense will be among the storylines worth watching in 2025 training camp. I could not agree more. Travis, we've already started to see some of the practices, obviously, with mini camps and OTAs and all that good stuff. And Etienne has been present, and Liam Cohen did go to bat for him. He went to bat for Travis Etienne. He said some of the stuff that he's seen about the trades this offseason was pretty silly, and I think they value what he's going to bring to this football team here in 2025. And I think Liam Cohen, thinking about what Travis Etienne's explosive ability can do for their running game and passing game, that's probably got to get him pretty excited, honestly. So that's where we're at here, heading into training camp in a couple weeks with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And y'all know once training camp hits, it is full steam ahead. Really appreciate y'all tuning in, supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.